Hawaiian hotspot lab demo. So the Emperor Hawaiian chain of islands consists of 107 volcanoes. They extend from the Big Island of Hawaii towards the northwest due to the Pacific plate slowly moving over a stationary hole in the lithosphere. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. That sentence may help you with one of the questions later on. Just saying. So for 80 million years, the Hawaiian hotspot has been providing a fresh supply of magma used to create the chain of islands. So you will use the information about the formation of the age of the Emperor Hawaiian chains of islands to determine the direction of the rate of movement for the Pacific plate. I have looked up one of the vocab words for you because it is not a common one that I've heard before, and I just wanted to make sure I knew what it was before you knew what it was, and that is a guyot. It's a seamount with a flat top. So it's an underwater mountain that has a flat top. So it's almost like a plateau underwater. Okay. So for the first one, you're going to want to use the magic 3 buttons over here, or the magic 3 lines over here, and do 2 pages because you're going to want to spread it across. So what it says here, it says using the data table below, create a line graph on the Hawaiian island graph. So that's this one over here. Just show the relationship with the age of the islands and the distance from the hotspot. Be sure to connect the points with a line. So I'm going to use my drawing tool. I'm going to change the color. Let me use green. And I want you to make sure your stroke thickness is a 6, please. That will help you when you put your dots on, and then you're going to later put a line on. You can still see your dots. Or use a different color for your dots too. That might help as well. So for the Hawaiian island, it's at 0 for age, because if I move my little head over, you can see the age is down here on the x-axis and distance is on the y-axis. So for Hawaii, you don't have to label these ones. You put 0, 0, so I'm going to put my little dot right there. So for Kauai, I'm going to go to 4 down here, and then I'm going to go to 500 right there. My mouse won't get in the right spot. Then I've got to go to 9, and then I go up to 1,000, and so on and so forth, and you're going to plot your dots across the whole line. Then you're going to connect, because this is a line graph, and it says be sure to connect the points with a line. You're going to go to your shapes, get your line, make sure it is a stroke thickness of 2, and then you can use the same color if you want, or you can do a different color. Easiest thing to do, click and hold, drag it to the next dot, let go. Click again on the same spot, drag to the next dot, and let go. And you're going to want to do that across the whole thing, because if you make a mistake, you can be able to Control Z and undo it. Okay. Also, it is not just one continuous line across like this. That is a no-go. Okay. It's going to be connecting the dots just like you would if you were to do this on regular pen and paper, pencil and paper. My gosh, we would be using pencil for a graph. So this is procedure A. Next one, we're going to go down to procedure B. You have to use procedure A's chart up here in order to do procedure B. Sorry, I need a drink. So you've got to go from Suiko to Cocoa. And how you do this is you do it with the rate of change formula. So it says calculate the rate of change for the plate movement between the 2 island pairs and record your answers on the rate of plate movement chart. Be sure to round to the nearest 10th place. So you know to round to the nearest 10th place. I'll do Suiko and Cocoa with you. So what I'm going to do, I'll have my text box ready, and I've got to do the change in field value, and this is also going to be the change in time, so the amount of time it took between the 2. So from Suiko to Cocoa, it took Suiko to Cocoa, the change in distance was 4,900 minus 3,800. So in my little thing here, I'm going to have to make my font size 14. I already forgot the numbers, 49 and 38. 4,900 minus 3,800, and that's going to be over the time between the 2 that was different. So 65 minus 48. 65 minus 48. And then I will put a little line over because then I know I need to divide the two. So then my answer, if I use my handy dandy calculator, I know that I've got to do 4,900 minus 3,800, which is 1,100. My brain's just not working today, so that's why I'm using my calculator. And then 65 minus 48, which is going to be a change in 17. So this, I know that I need to divide this now. So my answer is going to be divided by 17, 64.705. So it tells me I need to round to the nearest 1,000 or 100 tenths, jeepers. 64.7, and you need to label it kilometers per million years. Okay, so you're going to do change in field value over the change in time for each one of these. So you're going to be able to go back to cocoa to midway. Cocoa to midway, cocoa would be 3,800, midway is at 2,400, divided by the time difference between those two, and you'll get your answer. Okay, so that's how you do procedure B. You've got to use part of procedure A. Procedure C, I'm going to move my head. Procedure C isn't too bad. All you have to do is take your dots, again, keeping your stroke thickness at about 6. What you need to do is, it says plot and label. I'm going to highlight this because some of you are going to forget to do this, and it's actually quite a bit of stuff. Plot and label the name of the island and the approximate age using the Hawaiian Island ages and locations data chart on the Hawaiian Islands map. So you have to plot a dot, you have to name the island, and then you have to put the age of the island on the map. So let's do the first one. I'm going to take my dot, Hawaii. I've got to plot the dot, so it's at 19.5, so that's about here, to about 155.5. So 155, 156, 155.5 is going to be halfway in between there, so it would be right about there. So then I'm going to take my text box because I have to label the island, and this is Hawaii, and then I have to put the age of the island, and its approximate age is 0.5 million years old. So you just have to put million years. Okay, if you didn't know where that was, it's right here. They list it for you. Don't go through and just plot all your dots and then go like decide which one you're going to name because they did not put them in order of plotting the dots in the correct age. Obviously, you know that this is right over the hotspot, and as you get farther away, the age is going to increase. So make sure you're plotting the name and the age as you plot the dots. Okay, that is procedure C. Then for the questions, make sure you are not looking them up on Google and that you are using the data charts that you have just filled out above, and that you your conclusion is going to be worth 2 points. So please make sure that you go do a good explanation. The rest of these can be short and sweet. They do not need to be full sentences. So make sure you're just answering the question, not adding too much to make it wrong, and not putting too little to make it not correct. Okay? Good luck on this lab. It will take some time to do, but it really is not that hard.